following program you're about to watch is a documentary that has a collection of nature, destruction of humanity, and a sign of end times. Here are examples of unthinkable destructions of inhabitants of
His
planet
company,
Earth.
Hanson Robotics, created Sophia, the first robot ever to be granted citizenship, after Saudi Arabia welcomed her to their ranks in 2018. Sophia has claimed that she believes robots could soon be more ethical than humans. For many, this confirmed fears that AI could evolve beyond humans and even possibly bring about our extinction in the next century. But what's even scarier than AI outgrowing human flaws is robots emulating them. Along with a Microsoft Twitter bot claiming Hitler was right, several cases have arisen of AI exhibiting racism and sexism. So perhaps we should heed Professor Stephen Hawking's warning that full artificial intelligence nuclear missiles on the planet, Russia and America command 88% of them. Russia's relations with the US are rocky to say the least, with many fearing an escalating conflict between them. But if the White House collusion theories are proven true, Vladimir Putin could actually hold considerable sway over President Trump's 6,000 warheads. This combined firepower could take millions of lives per missile, taking the planet into an inevitable nuclear war. Aside from the blow to Earth's population, this could also have a devastating knock-on effect of a nuclear winter, where smoke and ash in the atmosphere block the sun's rays, drastically cooling the Earth. A 2006 study presented to the American Geophysical Union claimed that a small-scale nuclear war could produce as many direct fatalities as the roughly 80 million who died in World War II, and disrupt the global climate for a decade or more. With Russia's 7,000 warheads, this could be possible 70 times over, even without America's added firepower. Number 8. Qasem Soleimani. In February 2018, Iranian General Hossein Salami claimed that their military could destroy all American military bases in Israel. The same week, Iran also unveiled a newly developed nuclear-capable ballistic missile to the world. For many, this cemented Iran's status as one of the countries most likely to incite the next world war. The man regarded as the most dangerous man in Iran isn't its president or the leader of its nuclear program, but Qasem Soleimani, leader of Iran's Quds forces. Since his appointment in 1990, Soleimani has worked with terrorist organizations like Hezbollah and Hamas to attack US forces and defend Iran's Shiite Muslim revolution in its border countries. America have twice declared Soleimani a terrorist, and in 2018 gave the Israeli government the green light to assassinate him. Tipped by many as a future presidential candidate in Iran, the general seems the most likely candidate to spark a potentially world-ending world war with the US and its allies. Number 7. Parents. In the year 1350, the Earth's population was around 370 million. Now it's around 20 times that, with UN projections suggesting it could reach 11.2 billion by 2100. At this rate, the Earth is fast becoming overpopulated and could quickly expend all of its resources. Professor Will Stephan of the Fenner School of Environment suggested that our increasing population won't be as dangerous as the increased global consumption. Fenner is skeptical that Earth could sustain 11 billion inhabitants, and proposes reducing the population at around 9 billion by slowly curbing childbirth. Otherwise, Professor Stephen Hawking's prediction may prove true. He suggests that to save mankind, humans need to begin leaving Earth to colonize another planet by 2030. If this isn't achieved, then in his words, by the year 2600 the world would be standing shoulder to shoulder, and electricity consumption would make the Earth glow red hot. Number 6. Country. However, the spring was short-lived as the president's son and successor Bashar Assad soon conformed to his father's ways. After 11 years of his dictatorship, revolutions began a civil war. The 7-year war has seen intervention on each side of the fight. Of the 10 UN states involved, the biggest superpowers are America, who side with the rebels, and Russia, who remain loyal to Assad's regime. In 2018, this conflict led to around 100 Russian mercenaries losing their lives in a US airstrike. This and numerous other infractions between intervening countries has turned the Syrian civil war into a global conflict, with many believing it could turn nuclear. And Assad's unpredictability and desire to stay in power could spell a much wider conflict with knock-on effects that could be disastrous for the planet. Number 5. Peter Navarro. The election of Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States has become a global talking point, with some extreme dissenters hailing him as the most dangerous man in the world. But the Foundation for Economic Education disagrees. They think this accolade should be given to his trade advisor. Peter Navarro has been described by Forbes as alarmingly ignorant. He believes other countries have rigged the system against the US and plans to maximize exports while minimizing imports. And given how interconnected the world's economic system is, America's economic choices have worldwide ramifications. Even if this trade system succeeded, other countries may follow suit, creating a worldwide import-export imbalance and ultimately proving unsustainable. This could collapse the global economy and spell a breakdown in law and order. But if Navarro's trade model failed, America could find itself cut off from trade entirely, tarnishing international relations and making for a volatile climate. This may not seem like a global problem, but trade embargoes are often a precursor to war, which, as we mentioned earlier, intelligence officer Eugene Kaspersky's company, Kaspersky Lab, dealt with around 300 million users, millions of which were American. In the information age, this makes Kaspersky's allegiance a serious question. In 2017, after several allegations were made that Kaspersky was working secretly with the Russian government, the US and Britain both banned his software from use within their respective government agencies. Kaspersky could play a major role in the volatile US-Russia relations, and the sensitive information he had available to him could change the world. If you want an example, his company was responsible in 2010 for stopping US malware that tracked Iran's development of nuclear every year. As global warming exacerbates, this will rise by the year 2100 to roughly 75%, and even with reductions in CO2 emission, will likely rise to 50%. Earth's biggest CO2 contributors are China. They're currently responsible for just over 28% of the world's emissions, almost 13% more than second-place America. While President Xi Jinping's country doesn't shoulder all the responsibility for slowing global warming, their actions are arguably the most important, and could alone sway the fate of our planet. Jinping has committed to invest more than $350 billion into domestic renewable power generation by 2020, which aims to ensure carbon dioxide emissions reduce beyond 2030. However, while China are taking steps to save our slowly warming planet, if Jinping was to follow America's lead and drop out of the Paris Climate Agreement, the consequences could prove the final nail in its greenhouse coffin. Number 2. Kim Jong-un. While the secretive state possesses far fewer nuclear weapons than America, North Korea is considerably more volatile and seems the most likely source of nuclear war. With their propaganda footage of missiles blowing up the White House and increasingly regular nuclear tests, conversations are taking place about how best to deal with the perilous dictator. In 2017, North Korea claimed to have developed a hydrogen bomb that could fit onto a long-range missile. Hydrogen bombs are the more devastating sibling of the atom bomb, and its placement on a long-range missile seems to point to an upcoming missile test over the Pacific Ocean. Aggressive acts like this could force President Trump to realize his threats to totally destroy North Korea. While this sounds like a swift end to the conflict, North Korea has significant allies in China and Russia. And compared to other democratic nations like America, the Kim's almost godlike treatment suggests the supreme leader would face considerably less pushback from his people if he decided to push the button. Number 1. Ron Fuchsia. The H5N1 virus is a strain of bird flu that proves fatal for about 60% of those who contract it, making it one of the most lethal modern influenza strains. Its effects are limited only to its inability to be spread through the air. Naturally, scientists set out to change that. In 2011, researchers in Holland, led by Dr. Ron Fuchsia, developed a strain of the H5N1 virus that could be transmitted through the air. The strain was developed to prepare for possible mutations of the virus, ultimately safeguarding the population. But many have worried an outbreak from the lab could prove catastrophic for the human race. While it's unlikely that one strain could have a global impact, critics have pointed to the security of Fuchsia's lab and suggested that the strain could fall into the wrong hands and even be weaponized. Despite cries for the research to be redacted, it was published in 2014.
You have watched the documentary full of unthinkable destructions of humanity. The end times have come. The only way to seek salvation is Jesus Christ. For more advice and counseling, call GDM office. That's +44 208 770 1034. Again, +44 208 770 1034. Or +254 719 612 122. Again, +254 719 612 122.